Alright, so I just went from a map, level 1 to maps in 331. This is a spears only run from the very start, so we don't use anything other than spears. And it's a twister run, so we're doing twisters. Build guide is in the description if you just want the build guide. Okay, so basically what we're doing here in the riverbank is we're just going to be using spear stab on the miller. Whirling slash like helps us clear the mobs around the miller. So yeah, we're just gonna hit him with the spear stab, and then once he spawns zombies, we use the whirling slash. And you can like parry him if he attacks you as well, but it doesn't really do anything. So there's not much point in doing that. And yeah, Huntress is very squishy, so because the middle slam will basically one-shot you if you're not on full HP, you have to make sure you're on full HP every time he slams you. So yeah, here I got a quiver and an amulet. And so I'm already thinking like, okay, I can sell this for a lot of gold and I can probably buy something from the vendor. That's exactly what we do when we get 1 to 5 fire damage on our weapon. So flat damage when you're playing spears is extremely important. Because the base damage of spears is so low, basically any flat damage you get is a massive damage increase. So like if you get an iron ring and you're playing, you know, like a crossbow build or a warrior with like a two-handed mace or something, then it's not going to give you as much of a damage increase as if you're playing like a one-handed build. Because you have such low base damage because spears are one-handers. It's like any flat damage is massive. And for our gems, we're doing Twister and we're doing Frostbomb. And basically, you want to do Whirling Slash 3 times. And then you just do Twister, and we're just using Frostbomb for exposure. And as you can see, if you have a little bit of damage on your gear, it does a lot of damage. So I have the opportunity to augment my weapon here, but because it already has a prefix, I go against that, because there's not really anything good we could get on a suffix. And when we get to Ariadne, you'll see basically how we kill it is we bring her into the hut. And because we're playing Twisters, when she's inside of the hut, we do a lot of damage. It's probably going to take only like a few casts of Twisters and she'll be dead. And there we go, yeah. So first of all, Jim, we're taking Rage 1 on Whirling Slash. And the reason this is good is basically because like the Rage applies to like all your abilities, right? So even though we have it on Whirling Slash, we're also getting more damage for Twister as well. And I'm doing the leap mechanic here for a transmute. So my weapon is already magic and it already has fire damage on it. But I'm thinking ahead, and when I get to the Red Veil, I'm probably going to pick up a better weapon base, and I want to transmute that as well. And I already have an augment as well, so that like guarantees that I can get a decent magic weapon. And yeah, always managing my inventory. Inventory management is very important, so that you can actually like pick up items and know what's going on. So in the Red Veil, we're looking for Refined Arms. Refined Arms are going to drop us the next weapon base upgrade, which I think is called like the Iron Head Spear. And that base is going to be like a big upgrade, so Looking for that. But yeah, here we're basically just doing the 3 whirling slashes and then we kill like 1,000,000 mobs with the twisters. I'm also... Another thing I'm doing here is hoping to hit or actually not even hoping, like you have to hit level 5 here. And the reason for that is because if you don't hit level 5, you can't equip the Iron Head Spear. So as you see, we just got one, it requires level 5. I don't transmute it straight away, because I'm thinking I might get a magic one drop before I hit level 5. So I'm just waiting until I actually hit level 5 to craft it out. In case we get something before then. But yeah, you have to hit level 5 before leaving, so that you can equip it. If you aren't level 5, your vendor also won't have any Iron Head Spears in it, so like, you miss out on a huge opportunity in the vendor. So yeah, I'm swapping over my flasks here. Ideally, you want to do this just before you get to a checkpoint. But I kind of know like what's going on, so I just do it straight away. So yeah, I only have the last obelisk left, so at this point I'm looking for a level 5, so I'm just like running around and killing a bunch of mobs. And like I'm almost level 5 now, so I'm just crafting this out. We get pretty unlucky. Got hybrid fizz, it's like one of the worst possible outcomes there. And so I summon the Rust King. Then while he is being summoned, I'm going and killing mobs. At this point, I know like I'm going to get level 5 off of this guy. So I bring him into the corner. And this is like the perfect spot for twisters, right? Because they're just bouncing off the walls, hitting him like 5 times. I probably should have been level 5 here so I could swap over to the new base, but my new base wasn't that good anyway. Like, it only had hybrid fizz. And my current weapon had like 2 to 4 cold or something, so I wasn't too worried. Yeah, when we go back to town, we're going to be checking vendors. We need damage on gloves, we need movement speed boots, and we need a better weapon. So I'm looking for all 3 of those. And you can see we don't find any spear, but we do find gloves, 1 to 5 lightning damage. And then I transmute orc that and we hit basically another completely garbage weapon. Unfortunate. And you can see like this is like a tiny upgrade. I think it's like 10% more damage or something compared to my level 1 spear. I'm going to portal out here straight away. I'm going to talk to Una. And then we're just going to go straight back in and talk to Una again. And if you stand next to the checkpoint, you can go past the blockage. So you see me dodge roll back to the checkpoint there. And if you do that, you can go straight through. So, because we got those gloves, my damage is like very good. So flat damage on gloves is always important for any attack build, but it's especially important on spears because of the thing I was talking about earlier, where the base damage of the spear is so low, so any flat damage you get is really important. I don't know the exact math, but I assume it's like 50% more important than on like a two-handed build. Or maybe even better. So we're killing the druid because we want retreat on our twister. Fortunately, this guy's really tanky. I don't know if I would do this if I had bad gear. I think if I had bad gear, I would just skip him because he would take way too long. Yeah, we're just doing our Whirling Slash. We are sometimes throwing down Frost Bomb when I remember. And the Frost Bomb is basically just helping the lightning damage from my gloves, so it's like not that important at the moment. But yeah, because we got that lightning damage in our gloves, we're getting shock. So those gloves are probably literally giving us like 40% more damage on average. And we're gonna go for a retreat to 1 on that support gym. And at this point, I'm basically just running past all monsters because I'm already level 5.5. I'm not really worried about XP at this point, so I'm just running straight past. We need to be level 7 before we enter the hunting grounds, so it's gonna be very, very easy. So in the cemetery, there's a few things we're looking for. Because we are a spear builder, as I've been mentioning, we are really looking for flat damage, so an iron ring drop from the sarcophagus or whatever would be absolutely huge. We also need to pick up the regal orb from the league mechanic, which will probably be the same in 0.5. The new league mechanic will also have a regal orb, most likely. And this is like the only guaranteed regal orb you can get for like many zones to go. So you're basically picking up this regal orb for your level 16 weapon. And if you don't pick it up here, you're probably not going to have a regal. So it's like super important to pick up. So here we find the ring thingy, the sarcophagus, and we get an iron ring, which is absolutely massive. And you're going to see when we get to a boss, our damage is going to be like actually pretty decent. Even though our spear is garbage, just because we have the iron ring and we have the lightning damage on gloves. So in here, you're also going to want to go for the support gym, and we are looking for rapid attacks on Whirling Slash. This is probably like a good time to... Oh, so what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to parry. So we have this skill on the bottom there, Fangs of Frost. We took that with our first level 3 skill gem. And what that does is when you use it on a parried enemy, it creates Chill the Ground. And Chilled Ground basically gives us 50% damage gained as cold. So it's like massive damage boost. So yeah, for bosses, you want to use parry, and then you want to use Fangs of Frost, and you get Chilled the Ground. Yeah, that first support gem, we're going to take rapid attacks on Whirling Slash. Because basically how this build works is you try and... You want as much attack speed on Whirling Slash as possible. So we do things like having a really fast spear in your weapon set 2, having attack speed nodes on the tree in weapon set 2, and then you just set Whirling Slash to weapon set 2, and you're going to have like a really fast attack speed, but all your damage is on weapon set 1, so you have like a really high damage spear with all your attack damage nodes on weapon set 1. So yeah, what we're going to do here is hopefully parry and then Fangs of Frost. She doesn't use an attack that we can parry, so we just have to wait. And there we go, we get it. So we got the Chilled Ground, and now we have 50% damage gained as cold. So like, damage isn't amazing. I also am forgetting to use Frost Bomb, because I'm a noob. But even so, it's like pretty fine. Yeah, this is all thanks to the Iron Ring and the gloves. Our weapon is absolutely terrible. We basically have a white weapon. This damage is all from the ring and the gloves. So the lead mechanic in here gives us a random rune. So I'm basically just hoping for a damage rune. And we get a cold damage rune, so that's good. Okay, so for this zone, This is how it is in this patch. It's probably changing around at 5, but basically you start in a corner and you want to go to the opposite corner like 80% of the time. And as you can see, we started on the bottom corner, and so we're going to the top corner. I think we're already like level 7.5 here, so our EXP is super good. The boss arenas for Draven and Asenia are pretty awkward. It's like too open and you don't have much projectile speed at this point, so half of the time you're only hitting him with one twister. Or maybe two. So you can see here I'm trying to like drag him into the corner, but he's not really coming. But if you can get him into the corner, it'll be like decent damage boost, I think. And yeah, I try to parry him here, and I almost die because of it. GGG, please fix parry. But yeah, I'm always thinking about like, how can I bounce my twisters off the wall to make them hit him multiple times? And basically we just checkpoint back, and we respawn at checkpoint, and the key thing is I dodge roll back into the waypoint to make sure my flasks are refilled. Because if you don't touch the waypoint, your flasks aren't going to be refilled. So yeah, this guy has a bunch of chilled ground, but the chilled ground doesn't actually work with your twisters. It's like fake chilled ground or something. But yeah, you see I bring him close to the wall so that I can hit him multiple times. Alright, and we're basically going to pick up everything except the ring. The ring we don't pick up just so we can skip like an 8-second cutscene. And we're going to unlock the hooded one later anyway. So here I'm identifying all my rare items, and then I'm basically just vendoring everything. And we're hoping for a bit of weapon here. We get absolutely cooked on the vendor, no items whatsoever. That's fine though, we just keep going. So at this point for most classes, I would already have a talisman, but because we're doing the Whirling Slash on weapon set 2 with our twisters on weapon set 1, we can't like easily equip a talisman, so I just completely ignore it. So our goal here is to hit like, I don't know, level 8 basically before we go to Wraithorn, and we're already 8.5. So we're kind of over leveled. I think we killed a few too many monsters in like the cemetery and the tomb. So here we're basically using our Whirling Slash and then our twisters as normal, but you'll see when he starts running to phase 2, we start hitting him with Whirling Slash here, and the point of this is not to damage him, but so that we can generate rage before the phase even starts. It's probably easier to see for the next phase. But here I don't even bother to parry him because he's probably going to stun us, and we don't really need to parry him anyways. We already do enough damage, we don't really need the chill to ground. So yeah, you can see here I'm hitting him the whole time. I'm trying to generate rage, and as we run I'm going to keep hitting him. And you'll see that when the phase starts I have a bunch of rage, which is just 30% more damage, so it's like pretty big. And here we get a big upgrade on the gloves, 3 to 8 cold. I think that's like double the flat of our current gloves. I guess this is like a good quick time to mention like some hotkey stuff. So when you're allocating passives in the tree, you want to control click to automatically like assign it without having like the confirmation. But something that most people probably don't know is like the quick allocate of attributes. So when you usually click on an attribute, you have to like choose strength, dexterity, or intelligence. But if you go to the options and you go to the input tab and you scroll all the way to the bottom, there are 3 hotkeys that let you automatically choose which attribute to assign. So then you can like instantly assign your points just by clicking instead of like clicking twice or 3 times. And one thing I do want to mention there, back in the hunting grounds, we went past the Dryadic Ritual, which guarantees a support gem. The reason for that is I don't have any use for that support gem. We already have like all the support gems we really need. Once you get those first 3 support gems, you're kind of good. You don't really need to worry about anymore. Our next support gem is probably Prolonged Duration on War Banner. But like that's not a huge deal, so yeah. So yeah, for these rituals, super nice on twisters because they like, you know, bounce around and shit. But one thing I do want to mention is in 0.5, each time you complete a ritual, it's going to tell you where the other rituals are, including like the boss arena. So if I was completed that ritual in 0.5, then I would have seen like some trail of locusts like pointing to the bottom left and like the bottom right and stuff. One thing you also want to do in Freethorn is after you complete the 2nd ritual or before you start the 3rd ritual, you want to respawn at checkpoint. And what that does is when you click on the ritual, the 3rd ritual, it's going to have way less monsters than if you didn't reset. So you'll see once we get to the 3rd ritual, I'm going to do a respawn. And basically the ritual's hardly going to have any monsters in it. It's going to be like the same number of monsters as when you did the 1st ritual. And that also happens with the boss ritual as well. So we probably save like a good 30 seconds or something just respawning. So yeah, we hit level 10 here. You don't get a new weapon base until, I believe, level 11. I could be wrong, but pretty sure it's level 11. So I'm just going to go straight into the boss with my current gear. And remember, we still have that level 5 spear with Hybrid Fizz. So, like, considering that, our damage is pretty crazy. Like, our weapon literally just has Hybrid Fizz. All of our damage is coming from ring and gloves. And you can see here we're bouncing the tornadoes off the wall to try and hit him twice. And yeah, I'm parrying, doing Fangs of Frost to get that chilled ground. And then I'm positioning so that the twisters bounce off the wall and hit him twice. So I'm on the left, the wall's on the right. And that means he's often getting hit twice by one attack. And here we're basically just picking up every rare item. I see some gloves on the ground. And gloves are good, but my inventory is full, so I just keep going. And I'm just IDing like basically everything. Trying to just be really quick about my inventory here. I find movement speed boots, we equip the movement speed boots, and we have a rawhide belt, which is good, so we equip that as well. And here we have the new level 10 weapon, so it is level 10. It's not a level 11 like I thought. And now we're just going straight to the farmlands. For our spirit gem, we're looking for War Banner. Basically what Warbender does is gives us around 30-ish% more damage. So what it does is it actually gives 25% more attack damage, but it also gives 25% increased attack speed. So you basically do a shit ton of damage on bosses, and I think it lasts like 10 seconds if you have a support gem. It's like kind of not mandatory, so if you don't want to use it, you can just use your device, but I like doing big damage on bosses. So as you can see, we just swapped our Whirling Slash to weapon set 2 and our Twisted to weapon set 1. Very important. I'm doing this lead mechanic here for a level 4 gem. And you see I had spear throw on my left click, so I threw a random spear there. And then I noticed that, so I took it off of my left click. Yeah, basically the reason I don't have any skills on my left click is because of things like that. When you're like trying to pick up an item or do something, sometimes you'll just randomly attack. And that slows you down, so I take off my skill. And this guy's gonna give us another level 4 gem. I mean, we already have one, but like he doesn't take long to kill, so I'll just kill him. And we're gonna level up our Twisters, and we're gonna level up Fangs of Frost, I think, to level 4. So here we have started doing the weapon set thingy, where we have like our attack speed on weapon set 2, and our attack damage on weapon set 1. One of the nodes there we took was damage against blinded enemies. So basically the way we are blinding is Whirling Slash has inherent blind. So anything that gets hit, or like anything that's inside the Whirling Slash, is going to be blinded. So that means we can have the extra attack damage from that. You can see like when I use Whirling Slash on a mob, it has like a white sparkle. And that's how you know they're blinded. And here I see a level 4 gem, but we already have like too many level 4 gems. So I just leave it on the ground. So the league mechanic here gives us a Artificer's Orb, which is pretty big, because that means we can use it straight on our weapon. Now, because spears are one-handers, you can only have one socket in the spear. And what that means is, you're going to have more Artificer's Orbs than you would on like a two-handed build, because you only have to use one of your weapon instead of two. And because of that, that means, so usually on a two-handed build, you wouldn't use an Artificer's Orb on a level 10 weapon, because you need 2 Artificer's Orbs for your level 16 weapon. But because it only takes one, we can just go ahead and chuck an Artificer's Orb on a level 10 weapon, chuck in a damage rune, and get a massive damage boost. So here we've dragged him out a little bit, hoping to bounce the tornadoes off of the wall there. And you can see, like, because of the damage rune, because of the new weapon, because of all the damage on our gear, we just have stupid amounts of damage. We get a unique here. This is the first time I've ever seen this unique. Complete garbage. We're just going to sell it to the vendor. And here I'm doing four things. We're getting our points. We need to buy a Greater Life Flask if we don't have one. We already do. We're taking a Greater Storm Rune from Renly, and we're picking up our level 5 gem from the vendor there. Our first level 5 gem is going to be Barrage. And we got a bunch of points, so I put my points in. And here we're taking Prolonged Duration for Warbanner. So our duration for Warbanner should be like 10 seconds. And basically we're just going to be using that on bosses. So yeah, we're hoping for level 14 before Geonor, which means we want to be around level 12 entering the Mana Ramparts, and we want to be around level 13 entering the Ogre Manor. So there is a guaranteed support gem, but I think I go past it because I don't need it. But we'll see. I think I go to it and pick up the magic pack and like don't even pick up the GM or something, but we'll see. Yeah, I'm really trying to kill like every mob here to make sure I have that level. Oh no, I do pick it up. Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't have any support gems in my inventory, so I just picked that up in case. There are a bunch of things you can do with support gems, but they're pretty minor past your first few. It's like we're probably going to be taking like rapid casting on Barrage so that it's like 0.1 second faster to cast or something. And we're almost level 13 entering here, so we're like a little bit low, but that just means we have to take up a little bit more XP. The leaf mechanic here, we get an Orb of Alchemy. Obviously pretty big for our weapon. So we are going to kill Candlemass as soon as we see him. There is like a trick that you can do, but I think that trick is just like not really worth the effort or time. So I just do it normally. But the trick is, after you kill the Geonor, you can portal out and take the checkpoint to Candlemass and kill Candlemass after you kill Geonor. And that means while you're waiting for his loot to drop, you're just killing Candlemass. And you can go back to Geonor after you kill Candlemass and pick up the loot. I don't really care about that, so I'm just gonna kill him. I like simple things. This is simple. And we chuck the Warbanner down here, which gives us like 30% more damage. And as you can see, our damage is just like stupid at this point. So yeah, I got a winged spear here. You may think that that's like a really good winged spear. It's not. It only has one mod on it. So we rolled 68% IPD and cold damage, but the cold damage is so low. It's basically a dead prefix. So like 1 to 3 damage is probably like, I don't know, 3% damage boost or something. Like it basically doesn't exist. And then we exalted there for accuracy, so now it's like completely dead. I'm already like planning to vendor this to the vendor because it's complete garbage. I mean, you can literally see me looking at it and like crying about the missed potential there. With the 1 to 3 cold and the accuracy exalt. Yeah, as you can see, I'm basically killing every single mob. I'm really wanting level 14 before the boss. But what level 14 is going to do is we're going to be able to get Barrage. Which is like a massive damage multiplier for the boss. Yeah, as soon as I hit level 14, you're going to see me just basically start running past monsters. Because all I care about right now is the level 14. And this is the last monsters I kill, and I just go. We instantly pick up Barrage, set that hotkey up. Probably add a point in a second here. Yeah, I'm just looking for augments. So what we're doing is basically pressing all of our buttons, of which we have like 5 buttons. I should be using parry here and then doing the chilled ground, and I do that right now. And yeah, I didn't even play that correctly, but it doesn't even matter. Our damage is just insane. Generally, what you want to do is you want to set up your Whirling Slash, so you would have like your 3 Whirling Slash ready. You'd probably place your banner, you'd place Frost Bomb, and you'd Barrage. And you would parry and Fangs of Frost, and then after you do all of that, you would use Twister, and he would just get like a 1-shot. But I didn't do that, because I'm a noob, but it doesn't really matter, because we just obliterate him anyway. So here, I'm probably going to place War Banner, I'm going to use Barrage, use Frost Bomb, And he took like 30% of his health in one combo. And this is like average damage. Like my gear isn't even that good at this point. And we basically like 3-shot him. I didn't do this in this video, but apparently I've been told that you can use parry on the cold beams. Never tried it myself, but apparently you can. So yeah, that level 3 gem, don't really have any use for that, so just drop it on the ground. I probably should be cutting rapid casting for barrage here, but I don't have much experience on this build, so I just didn't think of it. So here I'm looking for the support gem. The support gem here is very important. It's going to be Frost Nexus, which is going to give us basically automatic chilled ground, which means we don't have to use parry on bosses, and we get chilled ground for our clear. And the way this works is when we get another level 5 gem, we get ice tipped arrows, and that's going to convert all of the physical damage of our twister into cold damage. So it's basically going to be guaranteed to freeze, and therefore have the chilled ground, and get 50% damage gained as. But we don't have that yet, so we're still doing physical damage. And so Frost Nexus isn't actually doing anything right now, but once we get that ice-tipped arrow going, you will see the change. There's a big difference. The other nice thing about ice-tipped arrows is, because it converts all of our physical damage into elemental damage, cold damage, that means we can use things like Elemental Armament 2 on our twister, and pick up elemental damage nodes on our tree. Whereas usually you wouldn't be able to do that, because most of your damage is physical damage. So here I probably should try to use like parry and Fangs of Frost, but I'm a noob, so I just kill him instead. I don't really do any parry stuff. Yeah, I'm trying to like, bounce the twisters off the wall and hit him multiple times, but it's pretty difficult on this boss. So I just kill him instead. So we pick up all these items, go back to the town, pick up our gem, and we go into the next zone. And what we should be doing here is going straight to the NPC, starting the NPC walk. And that's what we do. And then while the NPC is walking, we're cutting our gems. And then we're going to start the caravan to the Halani gates, and then we're going to go over to the vendor and do some vendor stuff. Or I'm a noob, so I just do random dodge rolls in random directions, and then I talk to the vendor. We find an attack speed wing spear, which is absolutely huge. So what's really important for this build is having an attack speed wing spear on your weapon set too. It's the wing spear is the highest attacks per second base, and then if you have attack speed on that base, it's like you can use that until like maps. Like you're going to be using that until like T15 maps or something. So something I often do is I'll pick up like a random magic wing spear that doesn't have attack speed, put it in my stash, and then when you get like an essence of haste or a greater essence of haste, you can use that on the wing spear to have like a really high attacks per second weapon for your weapon set too. But yeah, you can see how I just put ice tipped arrows on weapon set 1. So you have to have ice tipped arrows on the same weapon set as your twister. So yeah, now you're going to see the ice tipped arrows have started applying to our twisters. So basically we just, we already beat the game. Like at this point, the game is done. We won. It's GG, you know? Like we just one-shot every single monster. Um, it's kind of just a joke at this point. So yeah, we're doing like 1, 2, or 3 whirling slashes, and then doing a twister. Basically just like depending on how tanky and how many mobs there are. But yeah, like our gear isn't even good, and we are just completely obliterating the game at this point. Like, yeah, it's just... This build is just completely dumb, like... Just one-shot everything. So I am trying to, I think, hit level 16 before the next zone. I might be... Yeah, I just hit 16. I put that attack speed weapon into my weapon set 2. I put the one with damage into weapon set 1. And you can see here, like, the weapon was hardly even an upgrade, so I'm, like, trying to figure out, is it actually an upgrade? Is it not? But yeah, I had the 6 to 9 cold damage gloves. I swapped those over. It's like... I think it's, like, 1 to 3 cold or something more than my old gloves. But yeah, you can see me, like, swapping this weapon in and out, trying to figure out, like, is this actually more damage? Because all you care about on Twister is the average damage. Because all the attack speed, it just needs to be on weapon swap 2 for your whirling slash. So if a weapon has a really high attacks per second, it's going to look really good for your DPS on Twister. But the attacks per second of Twister doesn't matter at all. All you care about is the average damage per use. So if you want to find out, like, truly which weapon is better, you have to open the like menu for Twister and have a look at the average damage per use. So for this next boss, we're going to be doing our combo, which is like 3 whirling slashes, high stepped arrows, barrage, war banner. We don't need to use parry anymore. We don't even really need to use frost bomb. We're going to do so much damage. Yeah, we do the banner, we do the ice tipped arrows. And basically we're like 3-shotting this boss. So for Gem Cutter's Prisms, we're going to be using those on Twister. Yeah, but Twister's just... It's like additional touch chance for a Twister, so nothing else even comes close. I would probably do Barrage second, because if you do Barrage, you get like even more damage. Yeah, so it's like Twister to 20%, and then probably Barrage. And I find 10% attack speed weapon in there, which is slightly better than my 7% increased attack speed weapon. So I swap that over. You can see it's got 1.87 attacks per second. All you care about on that weapon set 2 is the number of attacks per second that that weapon has. And Winged Spear has the highest base, so you want a Winged Spear with attack speed, and that's going to be like the best thing you can get at this point. So we're going to pick up a level 6 gem here. At this point, we basically just use all our gems to level up Twister and Ice Tipped Arrows and Barrage. At level 7, we are going to pick up Freezing Mark, which is another button. So this build is like a 6-button build if you want to be like maximum efficiency, but you can play it with just 4. So War Banner and Freezing Mark are kind of like optional, but very nice. But you have to use Ice Tipped Arrows and Barrage. Like, there's like there's no way around it. So we are going to be ascending this run. So we're going for Balbala here. For our Ascendancy, we're going to be going Amazon, but in 0.5, this would probably be like Spirit Walker. But it's hard to know like how good Spirit Walker actually is without trying it. So in 0.5, I would probably start as Spirit Walker, try it out, and then if I didn't like it, then I'd probably just pivot to Amazon. But for this run, we're going to be taking Amazon, the open weakness, which is basically like 22.5-ish% more damage on bosses. Yeah, we pick up the barrier, and we start making our way to, I think it's called the Halani Gates. Yeah, there's like a million mobs here, so I just run past them because I'm too high level already. I didn't catch my level. What level am I? Level 17 or level 18 or something? I think 17, so I guess this is a good time to talk about the XP penalty. The XP penalty, there is a penalty threshold, which is 3 plus 1 per 16 levels of character level. So if you're level 1 to level 15, you can be 3 levels below the zone without any penalty. At level 16, you can be 4 levels below the zone without any penalty. And then level 32, 5 zones, level 48, 6 zones, and so on. And basically this penalty changes, like the amount of EXP penalty you have changes depending on your level and like the mob level. But a good like rule of thumb is if you're 1 level under that threshold, so if you're level 15 in a level 19 zone, you'll be getting around the 10% EXP penalty. If you're level 14 in a level 19 zone, you'll be getting around like 30-40% EXP penalty or something like that. So basically being 1 level below that threshold is okay. Being 2 levels below that threshold is pretty bad. So I'm always aiming to be like on the edge of that EXP penalty threshold. So like right now I think I'm level 17 in a level 20 zone, which is basically perfect. But the penalty is like, you want to keep it in mind, but also sometimes it's okay to just be below the penalty threshold. Because basically like, and a good example of this is Act 4, where at the start of Act 4, I think the zone levels jump up 2 levels. So like you finish Act 3, I think the zone is like level 45, and then the first zone in Act 4 is like level 47 or something. And so at that point, you're probably going to be like a couple levels below. But Act 4, the zone levels are really weird. It's like you go 47, 48, 47, 48 or something, like multiple times in a row. So to like be EXP efficient in Act 4, you want to be like 2 levels below the threshold for the first zone. Because otherwise you'll be like too over leveled for the next few zones. But yeah, in general, you just want to be like on the edge of that EXP penalty threshold. So yeah, we're using our barrage, we're using our war banner, we're using our ice-tipped arrows, and thanks to all of that, we basically like two-shot this guy. But yeah, ice-tipped arrows basically is like what enables this build, as I said earlier. The ice-tipped arrows convert all of our damage to cold damage. And because of that, we're allowed to use this elemental armament, we're allowed to use elemental damage nodes on our tree. And we get to freeze mobs for that 50% damage gained as from Frost Nexus. So here I am picking up my gem, selling all my useless items to the vendor. You'll see there I bought an open Omen Scepter. So that Omen Scepter gives us a bunch of extra spirit, which means we can use spirit gems like Herald of Ice, Combat Frenzy, basically anything you can think of. So one thing to mention here is my weapon. So I haven't crafted a weapon yet. For most builds, you want to craft a weapon at level 16, but I haven't done that. And that's because spears are unique in that they have, I think it's a level 21 base, called the War Spear, which has an implicit of increased projectile speed. So basically what I do is I craft my weapon at level 21, which is a War Spear, and basically once you have that weapon, you're going to be, like, if you thought the game was a joke already, wait until you get to level 21 and get a War Spear. Like, it's completely stupid. But yeah, we're ascending. In terms of like which rooms are fastest, you probably want to do like ritual trials, escape trials. I think those two are like the best. But then Chalice is also decent. Like Chalice doesn't take too long, and you do get 2 rare mobs, so you know it's like some loot and some EXP. And you know we basically like a 2 or 3 shotting these rares. This guy even has cold res, and we just 3 shot him in like 5 seconds. And we don't even have a weapon. Like our weapon's not even good. We don't even have good gear. This is just how much damage this build does. We're 2-shotting res, and we had a War Spear there, transmuted it, but we got 2 to 5 fizz. So yeah, this is another thing I want to mention, and a mistake that I see many players make, including experienced players. So what you want on the weapon, right? You want flat damage and percent increased physical damage, but the key point is that the values of it matter. So like if you have a War Spear with 1 to 3 cold, or 2 to 5 fizz, or 3 to 7 fire, or whatever, those rolls are very low. So what you want is you just want high rolls. So if you're not sure like what values are high and which values are low, you can go to PoE2DB and look at your weapon type, and then you'll be able to see like the possible values that you can get. Generally what you want is like the highest possible available value. If you can't get that, then the second best is okay. But if you're like on a level 16 weapon and you're settling for like level 1 flat damage, you're kind of cooked. I wouldn't invest any currency into an item that has like 2 to 3 fizz and you're level 16. You need those higher tiers. So sometimes you might like find a rare item with like triple flat or something, but it's all like 1 to 3 cold, 2 to 5 fizz, 2 to 7 fire. That item at like level 16 or 33 is a complete garbage item. You really need to like pay attention to the values, and again, if you're not sure what values are good, to go have a look at PoE2DB. So I took Hourglass here. Usually Hourglass is pretty bad, but because this build is so insanely powerful, we can like pretty easily kill these rare monsters. So it doesn't actually take too long. I pick up the crude bow there so that I can salvage it for some whetstones later on. Yeah, go for the ritual trial here. We're hoping for the ritual trial with like 4 dudes in the middle, but it's no good. You probably noticed that I dropped Frostbomb. We had a level 1 Frostbomb, so it only works on monsters up to level 20. We're already past level 20 now, so it's not doing anything. It's too difficult to like get enough intelligence to keep it leveled up, so I just drop it on the ground. And we already do like 1,000,000 damage anyways, so we don't even really need it. So yeah, I don't even care about like these bronze keys or anything. I just go straight past them. You'll see that after I kill this guy, I'm going to ascend, and then I'm literally just going to not even open any chests or anything. I don't even care about the loot. I'm just trying to go like as fast as I possibly can. We pop down the wall banner here, and we get 25% more attack damage. Remember, like, my gear is not even good. So we're going to ascend here. We're taking Amazon. And as soon as we ascend, we're going to exit the character select and log back in. And then we are going to portal back to town. That does mean we get no loot, but it also means we save a bunch of time. So the first zone we're going for here is Mastodon Badlands. And you can see I took the open weakness thing for 22% more damage on bosses. So the reason you do Badlands first is because if you do Keth second or third, instead of getting level 6 gems from bosses, you get level 7 gems. So you'll see when we go to Keth, when we kill Kabbalah, we get a level 7 gem. If you did Keth first, you would only get a level 6 gem, which is pretty big. So yeah, I'm basically running past all the monsters here, because we're level 18, which is more than enough. Like we're almost 19. This next zone is level 22 zone, which means we can be level 18 without any penalty, and we're almost 19. So I just run past all the mobs back there. So in this zone, there is a couple of important things we want, ideally. So the first thing that we have to pick up is the relic that you put in like the Valley of the Titans thing. And the relic here only drops from the wolves or the dogs or the hyenas. So you can see I'm like really trying to kill these hyenas in hopes of getting the relic, and there we get it. The other thing you're hoping for in this zone is the League mechanic, which gives a guaranteed Exalted Orb. But I'm not gonna go like run out of my way for that. It's just like a nice thing. So yeah, we're making our way over to I think it's called Hail. But what that node does is it gives us 16% damage gained as cold for empowered attacks, and basically all of our attacks are empowered. So you'll probably... Yeah, you see I'm like trying to be on the right side, so that the twisters bounce off of the wall. But yeah, you just want to think about like what's going to happen when I use my twister, what's it going to bounce off of, and then position yourself accordingly. So here I'm looking for a weapon upgrade, but absolutely nothing. I just want to say this again. Our gear is not even good. We still have a level 16 weapon. We're about to upgrade to a level 21 war spear. At least I think we are. And that weapon upgrade is gonna like double our damage or something. So the League mechanic in here is Gem Cutter's Prism, which obviously is super nice. I don't know if we end up picking it up, but if you do pick it up, you'll be using the GCP on Twister. Yeah, here's the League mechanic. So I probably spend like a bit of time killing the mobs here. Oh, Disdains, thank you for the prime. So for the snake boss, we are doing a normal boss combo. We've got Barrage, we've got Ice Tipped, we've got Banner. We do all of that, and we do good damage. Yeah, the damage is a little bit RNG. Like if the twisters just don't go in the right place, then like you don't get many hits. So you might be confused with like, I've got parry on my hotbar, but I'm never actually using it. I could literally just have it taken off of my hotbar. I just never took it off. I never use it at this point. The parry was just for Fangs of Frost back in Act 1. So we need to find the... I think we already found the relic. But the relic in these zones only drop from the snakes. So like, if you haven't found the relic and you're at the end of the zone, you gotta go and find some snakes to kill. This league mechanic here, we're getting an Orb of Alchemy. Which is gonna be good for our weapon, so we pick that up. Basically, how you want to use Orb of Alchemies is, if you have a white base, you want to transmute it and org it, hoping for like a good prefix, right? If you get a bad prefix, then you can alch it. So you basically get like 2 chances from one base. So you only want to be using Orb of Alchemies on magic bases with bad modifiers. Because what the alchemy does is, it doesn't like... Some people think that it like keeps the modifiers of the item, but it just completely rerolls the item. So that means if you have a good item and use an Orb of Alchemy, you're going to lose those good modifiers. So yeah, you want to use it on magic items with bad modifiers so that you can get a second chance, essentially. So, and one of the things we're looking for in here is the league mechanic, and we find it right here. This league mechanic gives us our first Lesser Jeweler's Orb, which we're going to use on Twister. And on Twister, we're going to put Elemental Armament 2, which is going to give us 25% more elemental attack damage. And because we're using Ice-Tipped Arrows, that's going to just be 25% more damage, basically. So I pick up the ring there. That thing that I just picked up, the Elemental Offering, gives you a guaranteed ring and a rune of the type that you choose. So if you choose like the lightning, you're going to get a storm rune. So yeah, go ahead and put that on Twister. By the way, this thing where I'm doing where like I log out, log in, is when you are sprinting and you get tripped, you can log out and then log back in and you'll be standing up instead of being tripped. So I just do that basically every time I get tripped, and then generally you won't be dying. So yeah, I take Elemental Armament 2 here, but I don't have any strength, so I'm like trying to augment anything I have, trying to get strength on it, but we didn't get it. So we're literally doing this boss with a missing support gem. Keep that in mind when we kill this boss, okay? We literally don't have a support gem on right now. Like, we're missing one. And we like 2-shot or 3-shot this guy. I think we what, 2-shot him? 3-shot him? And we're missing a support gem. We don't even have a good weapon. So we pick up a weapon here, it's you know, it's got double flat, right? Like double flat, that must be good. But no, the flat rolls are really low, which means that weapon's no good, it's vendor trash. At least I think it's vendor trash. I think I vendor it. I mean, maybe I'm crazy and I exalt it, hoping for like a good... No, I vendor. Okay, good. We pick up a war spear here. Augment that. I think I regal it. Didn't hit anything good. And at this point I'm like, oh god, I only have 2 exalts. This weapon only has 48% IPD. I don't know what to do. So I just leave it in my inventory and do nothing. Hoping for like another opportunity later on. Because some of you may be thinking like 48% IPD, isn't that good? But the 48% IPD is like almost half of what it could be. So at this level, you can get up to 84% IPD on a weapon. And, you know, 48%, that's like almost half. So that one prefix essentially has like half the value of what it could. We pick up a war spear here, we get hybrid. I'm not sure what I do, I think I just leave it. Because hybrid also kinda sucks. So in terms of levels here, we want to be like at least 22 at a minimum entering Valley of the Titans. And then leaving Valley of the Titans, you want to be a minimum of level 23. Okay, we pick up a fork spear here. And I still don't have a weapon, so I'm crafting it out. So in terms of like when you want to augment weapons, right? All you really care about on the weapon is the prefix. So if you transmute it, and it hits nothing but a suffix, you want to augment it. A weapon's not dead until it has a dead prefix. Some people are probably thinking like, don't you want projectile skills? Well, projectile skills gives you like 10%-ish more damage. Whereas a good prefix gives you 100% more damage. Basically. So if you have a white weapon, and then you get a good prefix, like let's say 84% IPD. That's literally 84% more damage on your weapon. And yes, it's like only applying to the weapon, but like if you account for everything, it's probably like 50-60% more damage or something like that. So like the prefixes are a lot more important than projectile skills. And for the thingy, we go for the one on the left, which is charges generation. The one on the right gives duration. I think you always want to go for charm charges gained, because you don't really care how long your charms last usually. It's more like you want it to be up as often as possible. So yeah, as we can see, we still don't have Elemental Armament 2 socketed. We're still waiting for the attributes. And I'm a noob, so you know I keep forgetting to like pick up the attributes. You know, even if you're a noob like me, it doesn't even matter. You just still one-shot the mob with like trash garbage gear. You know, absolutely garbage gear, missing support gems, doesn't matter. You just completely obliterate the game anyways. So yeah, for clear here, I usually do either 2 whirling slashes or 3 whirling slashes. If I'm feeling strong, it's usually going to be 2. If I'm feeling weak, then it's going to be 3. And I get frozen there, die. It doesn't really matter though. We have a checkpoint very close by. I could have logged out there, but I kind of just died faster than I expected. That's why I didn't log out. So I think we're like level 23.5 here, which is basically exactly where we want to be. So I think a mistake here I made, by the way, is one of the level 7 gems I should have used on Freezing Mark. This is like the second or third time I played this build though, so like I didn't have all of this memorized. But you want to use one of your level 7 gems on Freezing Mark. Which is very important, but I forgot about it, so I didn't. But what that Freezing Mark does is it speeds up the boss, the freeze. So you get that chilled ground down earlier. And when you freeze the boss, it gives you another 30% damage gained as cold. So it's like pretty important. Pretty important. But, you know, it's not like absolutely required. It's just like, I don't know, like 25% damage multiplier or something? 20%? So yeah, we're still running an uncrafted level 16 weapon. Like, we could easily have double the damage right now. If I had crafted a level 21 weapon, and I had a support gem in, and I had freezing mark, if I just knew what I was doing and doing it correctly, I would literally have double the damage right now. But we don't even need it. Like, even when we have no idea what we're doing, with like old random gear, it's just, the game is a complete joke. So what we're looking for here is the letter. So we need to pick up the letter for those 2 passive points, and the letter, I mean, this patch anyways might be changing in 0.5, we don't know yet. But you basically always want to check on the south side of the buildings. And here I get insanely lucky, like, I find the letter straight away. It's so lucky, in fact, that while I was playing, I literally forgot about the letter because it was like so fast and so lucky that my brain like omitted it from my memory. So later on, we're gonna see me backtrack, trying to find the letter, only to realize that it's in my inventory. Like that's how insane this build is. Even when you make silly mistakes like this, you're literally like missing half of your damage because you don't know what you're doing. You can still get a world record run. That's how broken this build is. So yeah, we're doing this league mechanic for a rune. This gives us a guaranteed lesser rune. So yeah, I've already got the letter in my inventory, but I'm like, I found it so quickly, I literally forgot that I found it. So now I'm like backtracking all the way through the zone, trying to find the letter. Only to realize that after I full clear the zone, that it's in my inventory. I think we literally lose like a minute here or something. Probably if I didn't do this, we would have gotten sub 330. So yeah, by the time I get to the bottom of this building, I'm like, what? Where is it? And then I realize it's in my inventory. And we move on to the next zone. So I think at this point, I'm like done with being stupid. So I go and respec, I think. Or like maybe I check vendors or something. Yeah, I'm looking for a war spear. We still don't have anything. Oh yeah, I'm gambling for a weapon. So we still don't have a weapon, right? So I'm gambling. We find one with 2 to 28 lightning damage. Not like too happy with that, but it has potential. So I think we exalt it out. And we get like something pretty decent. And that basically just doubles our damage. And so at this point, I think we're having a look at like the damage difference. We craft it out. We put in our whetstones. We put in a rune. I think we go for a storm rune. Generally, you want to use storm runes here because of like chance to shock. Shock is always good. But yeah, this passive tree that I use has so many damage nodes that you don't really have enough attributes. So usually you would be going through a lot more travel nodes, but because we only have like 5 travel nodes or some shit, we don't have any attributes. So like we don't have enough attributes to use our scepter, we don't have enough attributes to use freezing mark. Sometimes we don't even have enough attributes to level up our gems because we just have so many damage nodes. And that's all thanks to ice-tipped arrows. Oh, holy shit. Zedomina, thank you for the 5 gifted. Thank you very much. So for this zone, we are essentially running in a straight line. So you'll see we spawned on the very bottom of the zone. We're trying to essentially go in a straight line north, because that's where the boss is going to be. Congrats on hitting a few 400 viewers, loving the growth. Oh, thank you, dude. I appreciate the gifted. So yeah, we're just going straight north. We're hoping that we find the lightning res on the way. If we don't, then we're going to go down the side. Yo, Vislemoy, thank you for the prime. I appreciate it. So yeah, we tried to go left, but it's a dead end, so we have to go all the way down and then go right and up. If you were super sweetie and you were like really trying to be like, you know, as fast as possible, you'd probably have a talisman in your inventory, which you would swap in whenever you want to jump over a wall. Or like jump over a cliff or something. But we're trying to be like, you know, normal humans and not do like cringe talisman weapon swap stuff, so we just have to run around all of these dead ends. So yeah, we got our new weapon, so our damage is looking pretty decent. And yeah, we got like a bunch of lesser Jewelers orbs, but we don't have any... Like... Yeah, we have a bunch of lesser Jewelers orbs. But like, support gems don't even matter on this build, because you're just so powerful that I'd rather just keep killing mobs instead of like adding support gems. So we pick up a +1 Proj amulet there. It gives us like 10% more damage or something. It's like, we already do so much damage, it doesn't even matter. So our level here is quite low. We were hoping for like level 28 at a bare minimum before entering Act 2. And we're currently level 26, so I think we have to do a little bit of resetting at the end here. Yeah, the other very nice thing about that +1 Proj amulet is that it was a amulet that gives attributes. And this build is very attribute heavy. So... that's very good that we got the attributes there. See, I believe this zone is a level 31 zone, and we're currently level 26. Which means we are 1 level below the penalty threshold. And I think now we're 2 levels below, because this zone here is level 32 and we're level 26. So we're 6 levels below. We can only be 4. Which means we're 2 levels below the penalty threshold, which means we're getting like 20 to 30% XP penalty. So I am being a little bit inefficient here. Little bit inefficient here. This is like kind of an awkward build. I mean, not an awkward zone for this build. But yeah, this build is like so strong, it's like highly even matters. You can really see like the difference between when you use ice-tipped arrows and when you don't have ice-tipped arrows up. If you don't have ice-tipped arrows up, right, you're essentially losing 50% damage gained as... It's like 50% more damage. And you're also losing like the empowered attacks node. So you're actually missing like 66% damage gained as cold when you don't have ice-tipped arrows up, so... Very, very big. So yeah, we're like half a level low here. So I go to the checkpoint and I do some respawns until we hit 28. And I instantly die. Luckily we're next to the checkpoint, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, this is a very squishy build. If you don't want to be squishy, you kind of just have to spend more time on your gear. But because this is a softcore speedrun, we're kind of just ignoring our defenses, kinda. And just trying to go like as fast as possible. So we pick up that magic pack. I believe that spot has a guaranteed magic pack, or like very likely to have a magic pack. So I like to go to that spot and then reset once I get there. Yeah, and we hit level 28 here, so we're good to go. You would want to be like 28 and a half or maybe even 29, but I'm really worried about my time because I'm trying to do a speedrun, so I just go under leveled a little bit. And yeah, I still haven't taken Freezing Mark. I've just like completely forgotten about it. Completely forgotten about Freezing Mark. So here we are trying to get as much rage and glory for Warbanner as possible. And basically, you know, we like fucking one-shot him. Unfortunately, even though we like one-shot him, he still does the Sandstorm. If you get lucky, you can like skip this phase and save, I don't know, 20 seconds or something. 15 seconds, something like that. So yeah, this guy is weak to cold res. You can see in the top there, he has like a red icon for cold res, which means he has negative cold. And you know, because we do cold damage, it basically means we instantly obliterate him. Pretty sweet.
This is not over. Not yet.
So yeah, usually for end of act bosses I don't wait for loot, but Jamana is really fast, so I wait for his loot. We don't really get anything good, but we get some vendor trash, which is always some gold.
Go on, tell me. Who are you, really?
So for this guy, we are waiting for 3 dialogues, and then as soon as we get those 3 dialogues, log out, log in, and we appear at the start of town. So we don't have to like run all the way back.
I will tell your tale. Back to basics.
So here I am trying to respec my attributes so that I can get enough attributes for my scepter. And now we have an Omen Scepter, which gives us Malice. So we're getting increased crit chance, and we have a bunch of extra spirit, which means we can now use Herald of Ice. So now we have Herald of Ice, we have Warbanner. You can see we have an extra 70 spirit on that weapon set 1. But we don't have the spirit gems, so we just, you know, have 70 spirit with nothing really to do with it. You could probably put in like some support gem here, but at the time I hadn't really thought about that. So I'm just going instead of like thinking about what to do. It's like a really important thing for speedrunning is like if you don't know what to do, just do nothing. Like, spending time thinking about what to do is worse than just doing nothing. So I think I'm gonna get Freezing Mark on my level 9 gem. It should have been a level 7 gem, but like, I think this is like the third time I've ever played this build, so I just forgot about it. So here we find the Lesser Jewel's Orb reward, but we already have too many Lesser Jewel's Orbs, so I just ignore it. Like, you only really need one Lesser Jewel's Orb for Twister, and then after that you're kind of good. So yeah, you may be looking at this weapon and thinking like, oh my god, really good, +1 proj. But no, +1 proj is very, very overrated for leveling. It's just a nice to have, not a must have. So I think I literally just sell it to the vendor, because the prefix sucks. And here I find some 15% movement speed boots, and I currently only have 10% move speed, so I just go with 15. So in terms of level, I think we're currently 28, which means we're six levels below. So we're getting like, 20-something% XP penalty, I think. You really want to be like 29 entering here. You have a monkey. I'm pretty sure I died a monkey, right? Yeah. Dying doesn't really matter because you automatically get the checkpoint when you find them. And this is a softcore run, so... Yeah, the damage can be like a little bit random. Sometimes you just don't get many hits with the twisters. Sometimes you get like 100 hits. But most of the time, you're going to be doing shit ton of damage. So here I'm looking for the Venom Crypts. I think in 0.5 there's going to be like 2 entrances to the Venom Crypts. And there's going to be like some sort of tell to tell you where it is. I can't really like remember what that tell was, but there's some sort of tell. If you do find the Jungle Grave, picking up a rare rawhide belt is a pretty good idea. It's usually going to have like, some life or like a resistance or something, which is very nice. Yeah, in 0.5 there's going to be a trail of snakes leading you to the Venom Crypts apparently. But only one entrance and 2 exits once you get inside. So here we find some nice gloves, 1 to 15 lightning damage with life, a bit of evasion. Big mechanic, we get a guaranteed Orb of Alchemy. Definitely want to pick that up. So for the Venom Crypts, yeah, that completely changing in 0.5. I have no idea what the layout's going to be like in 0.5, but as of right now, you kind of just want to like hug a wall, and make sure you hug a wall, and you'll be good, essentially. The zone right now is usually like a big circle. With the reward usually on the opposite end. I mean, all of this is changing in Auto 5 anyway, so it's kind of useless. There is a rare sarcophagus in here that gives you a guaranteed tier 3 support gem if you do want that. I mean, again, I don't know if this is going to be an 0.5, but as of right now, there is a sarcophagus with a tier 3 support gem guaranteed. I guess now's another good time to talk about levels. So, we just hit level 30, which is basically exactly where we want to be. So because we're level 30, we're one level below the penalty threshold. When we go into Infested Barrens, that zone is also going to be level 35, so we'll still be one below. And as I said earlier, you want to be either one below or just above the threshold. What minion build would you think is the best to league start with? As of right now, probably Varashta. So yeah, at this point, I've noticed that like the thing is in the middle, so I go to the middle and I pick it up. For the passive reward, I basically always go for increased stun threshold on every single build I play. 25% increased stun threshold, pretty nice. Here I'm trans-auging basically all of these items. We miss like all of the trans-augs, but we have 8 to 20 physical damage on one of them. So that one I'm thinking about how to craft it. I don't regal anything yet, because we can't actually use these weapons until level 33. So I'm just holding off on regaling until then.
Time to get Elva down here.
So this league mechanic, we get a Exalted Orb. Pretty sweet. I think Exalted Orbs are usually like the bottleneck for crafting in the campaign. You're usually going to have a lot of regals, and you'll be lacking Exalted Orbs, at least that's usually how it is. So I think in 0.5 this cave is going to be like the entrance to something for the league mechanic. So right now it's like just like a bunch of magic mobs and a rare mob. But in 0.5 you're going to want to go in there to like unlock something for the new league. I can't remember exactly what it was though.
These Azak give tribal life a bad name.
So for this zone, I mean apparently this zone's been moved to the waterways, right? So right now it's in the Infested Barrens, but in 0.5 it's going to be in the waterways. I don't know if they're changing the layout, but currently what you want to do is you generally want to go like to the top right of the zone, generally. So, you can see I'm currently going to like top left / top right. And I'm a complete noob, so I still don't have Freezing Mark. We're like 10 levels higher than what you should be when you have Freezing Mark. I'm a noob, so I take Freezing Mark at level 31 because I don't know what I'm doing. You should take it with a level 7 gem at level 22.
Flying now, are we?
There we go. I finally cut it. And because this is actually a really bad mistake, and because it's a level 9 gem, it now has a way higher attribute requirement. So now I don't even have enough intelligence to use it. You know, none of this even matters because we just one-shot the boss anyway. And yeah, this is like not even a good run, but this build is just so powerful that even with a terrible run like this, you can still get a world record by 4 minutes. It's pretty good. Alright, I'm gonna be 2 minutes.
Excellent. More wildlife. What wants to kill me?
Alright, I'm back. So yeah, this build does enough damage that you can get a phase skip on the Chimera, but you have to play it right. But I'm a noob, so I just randomly attack him with all of my abilities, hoping that I get a phase skip, and we do. If you're level 33 at this point and you have a level 33 weapon, you're like guaranteed to get a phase skip there.
A soul core. Maybe if I'm quiet, these things won't come to me.
So yeah, for this zone, I'm generally following this main passage, and we have Thunderous Leap. So we can use Thunderous Leap to jump over the blocked path. And what you usually want to do is put your Thunderous Leap on weapon set 2, because all your attack speed is on weapon set 2. And along the way, you're basically just going to hear the like quest item drop sound, and that's how you know to like go away from the path and have a look for the soul core. Yeah, I usually find the end of the path first, and then I go back and have a look at the boss. I don't know how to know where the boss is, so I just kind of go based off of vibes. In this run I went left, because it seemed like a big open area for the boss, but I was completely wrong and it was on the right side. So, you know, I lost like, I don't know, a minute there or something. Unfortunately. Yeah, you can use Pounce, you can use Leap Slam, you can use Thunder Sleep, you can use any of those movement abilities to jump over the blockages. And here we find the boss. Because these guys knocked us out, we didn't get to place the thing. But we just kill the mobs and then place it. So yeah, we're getting our War Banner, we're trying to get some Rage. You generally want to be in melee range, and the reason for that is because then your Whirling Slash is hitting the boss, and therefore giving you Rage. I think I got unlucky with the Twister hits there, and that's why he took a little while to kill. If you went into maps with this build, how do you think it would do? I actually did maps on this build yesterday, and it's the best early mapper I've ever played. So for this zone here, generally what you do is you run to one side. So you can see here I'm running to the right, and I'm making my way towards the checkpoint. And basically once I get to the checkpoint, I'm going to go back to the start using that checkpoint that I found. And then I'm going to run the opposite way and do the exact same thing. And here I'm like, not super happy, not super sad about those Exalt Slams. You know, it's not an amazing weapon, it's not a terrible weapon. So we hit good 3 good prefixes, but the rolls on all of them are kind of like a mid. They're not super low, they're not super high. So you saw me respawn at checkpoint after placing the core in the generator. And I just do that so when you place both of the cores in, you have to like wait for the boss to spawn, right? Because like the power from the generators like have to travel to the boss. But if you just respawn at checkpoint, it like instantly skips that, and you can just fight the boss straight away. So that's why I respawn at checkpoint. You only have to do it once, but I'm a noob, so I did it twice. And you can see we can like instantly fight the boss. And this guy is cold resistance, so he is a little bit tanky. So it might take, you know, 5 seconds or so to kill him. Because of that cold res. Yeah. So if you're confused about like why the boss has sections of like different colored HP, it's because of our ascendancy, open weakness. So what open weakness does is 50% more damage while they have an open weakness, and that's what like those sections of HP are. So yeah, I dropped that flat fizz weapon on the ground because we found a high lightning damage roll on our other weapon. And here I'm just like trying to figure out, well, how much better actually is this weapon? And I think it's a lot better once I craft it out, so I just equip it. At this point I'm like, okay, let's just regal, let's see what we hit. We don't really get anything good. So I just stick with my fully crafted weapon. You might be thinking like, wait, attack speed, isn't that good for attack builds? But again, because our attack speed only matters for weapon swap 2, and we already have a really fast weapon in our second weapon swap, the attack speed of our main weapon that we have for Twister doesn't matter at all. The attack speed is essentially a dead mod for our Twister. What's the cold source for Twisters? So we have Ice Tipped Arrows, which converts 100% of our physical damage to cold. And so that lets our Twisters do 100% cold damage. And we have Frost Nexus on Twister. And because our Twisters do cold, they freeze. And every time they freeze, they create chilled ground. And so that's why there's like chilled ground everywhere. Yeah, just like dropping steel gems on the ground because I don't have any use for them. How is it that you were able to survive without armor? So I haven't been using a body armor this whole time, simply because I haven't really found a good body armor. Body armors give you a small movement speed penalty. The amount of movement speed penalty you get depends on the like type of body armor it is. So, like armor body armors have bigger movement speed penalty than evasion body armors. But evasion builds don't really, like, evasion doesn't really do anything in the campaign at this point. This will probably change with the buffs that we're getting in 0.5 with, like, I think they said they're buffing evasion in the campaign around Act 3, and they're also like adding the ward. But as of right now, evasion is completely useless. So I just don't even have a body armor equipped. And the reason we aren't dying all the time, even without any defenses, is simply because we just kill all the mobs before they kill us. So, at some point I like swapped. Yeah, so my scepter has 8 intelligence on it, and that's letting us equip the boots. So I actually don't have boots when I'm in weapon swap 2. So what you can do here is you can place a portal first. What I like to do is just pull the lever, spam close all user interfaces, and spam portal at the same time. And if you're spamming those two, then basically you'll create a portal as soon as the lever stops, or like as soon as you finish pulling the lever. So for level 10 gems, for level 10 spirit gems, we could go for like combat frenzy. We could go for leveling up your device or whatever we want. Honestly, it doesn't really even matter because we're just so insanely powerful. Yeah, we have Freezing Mark now, so whenever we're on a boss, we're going to be using Freezing Mark. We don't really use it for clear. It's just to speed up the freeze on bosses and to get that damage gained as from the buff. We are going to be doing the Molten Vault. And because we're doing the Molten Vault, our EXP is going to be like pretty fine. I think this is a level 40 zone, which means we can be level 35 without a penalty. So being like 34 entering the zone is pretty fine. Especially because we're going to do Molten Vault. Yeah, when you don't have much projectile speed, on your tree or from gems or whatever, you essentially sprint at the same speed that your twisters move. So you can like throw out your twisters and run with your twisters. And basically like as you run through, mobs are gonna die. Kind of like that. So here I run into a dead end and I kind of realized that the Molten Vault is all the way on the bottom left. Pretty unfortunate layout, but happens. So coming up in the Molten Vault, there is a massive skip you can do. Like it saves an insane amount of time. Basically, you want to get Thunderous Sleep, and you're gonna run into this little corner here, and you're gonna jump over. And that probably saves you like a good, I don't know, 20 seconds or something. And you can do this in the map as well, by the way. So, yeah. You just get to skip pulling the lever. And you just jump straight over. Don't tell GGG. So yeah, you'll see something that I am trying to do here is when you open the door, you have like a second or so before you can actually go through it. So what I like to do is I get my Whirling Slash ready, and so then as soon as I go through the door, I can throw out my twisters. At least that's the idea. You can jump over the corner there, save like, you know, 0.2 of a second. And you want to dodge roll as soon as the lever reaches the bottom. So you can like skip the end of the animation. And yeah, we're going to use Freezing Mark, we're going to use Barrage, and we're going to use War Banner. And he is just going to be deleted. We hit level 36, so we're going to equip a body armor. The body armor we have isn't too amazing, but it's like a couple hundred evasion and deflection, so may as well equip it. I think we get like a 3% movement speed penalty or something. Yeah, ideally on gear, you're looking for like life and resists. And if you can't get life and resist, just gotta settle for like evasion or something. Evasion's pretty garbage, but yeah. So we just picked up like the strongest node for the entire tree, which is Dance with Death. So how Dance with Death works is when you don't have anything in your offhand, you get 25% more skill speed. So in our weapon set 2, which has Whirling Slash, we don't have any buckler or anything equipped. So we get 25% more skill speed for Whirling Slash, but then in our main hand, weapon set 1, we can have basically anything we want. So we can have a Spear and a Scepter, or a Spear and a Buckler, and we won't be getting 25% more skill speed on that set, but we only care about skill speed on weapon set 2 anyways, so it's basically just completely free, and you don't really have any downside from that node, this build. One thing I do want to mention is that I still need to test this, but I think that you want to put Barrage on weapon set 2, because I think it will get advantage from that more skill speed. You have to have Ice Tipped Arrows on the same weapon set as Twister, but I don't think that's the case for Barrage. So yeah, again, I still need to test this, but I think you want to put Barrage on weapon set 2, like the same weapon set as Whirling Slash, so that it gets the 25% more skill speed. Yeah, we just picked up an Essence of the Body. Essence of the Body is absolutely huge. I mean, yeah, this game is just a joke. Like, GGG needs to like triple the boss HP or something. This game's too easy. So yeah, we waypoint back to the Drowned City, and then we go from the bottom. And that just means that we appear at the bottom, so we can go straight into the Temple of Kopek. So for the Temple of Kopek, what you want to do is you want to go to the opposite corner from where you started. So you just want to go straight across the center, and it's most likely going to be in that corner there. And we got lucky, so it was exactly where we expected it to be. So this crack in the ground you see here, you want to jump over the crack, and then the stairs are going to be in this corner here on the opposite side of the crack. So at this point, I think we aren't missing too many optimizations. I think we have like all our important support gems, we have all of our important gems like Freezing Mark. We have like an okay weapon. So this is kind of what the build is going to look like when you're doing things correctly. Or like not making any huge mistakes. I take off my body armor here so I can avoid the movement speed penalty. And you can see I swap over a bunch of points just so that I can get some more skill speed for weapon swap too. So, for Exile, we are looking for Goliaths. Goliaths are the only mobs that drop the Sacrificial Heart. You need to get them in this zone or the next zone. If you don't get it in this one, then you're just going to farm it up in the next one. So here I disabled pausing, so I can look at my passive tree while the like NPC dialogue is playing in the background. And then I just change my options again to re-enable pausing. And I've got an essence, so I chuck that on my +1 Proj amulet. So she's in a bit of an awkward spot here. We're only getting one proc from the twisters because she's right against the wall. You really want her to be in like the center of the arena. So let me go over the hotkeys for the passive tree again. So if you control click, it'll automatically assign without asking for a like confirmation. If you want to automatically assign attributes without like having to click strength, dexterity, or intelligence, you need to go to your options, go to the input tab, scroll all the way to the bottom, and you'll find some hotkeys there. You want to set those. Something else that's probably not well known that I haven't mentioned yet is automatically setting weapon set 1 and weapon set 2 points. If you control shift left click, it'll assign points to weapon set 1. And if you control shift right click, it'll assign points to weapon set 2. And so that way you don't have to click on the top right for like weapon set 1 or weapon set 2 or any of that. You can just use the hotkeys. And if you do that across the run, you'll save a total of like, 10 seconds or something. So huge time save there. Are you actually using the second set or just the passives? Not sure I understand your question. We're using the second set and the passives. Will Ice Twister proccing off of Ice Tipped Arrows survive? You mean like in the patch notes? I have no idea. I hope so. So yeah, here we pick up the checkpoint for the sacrificial altar or whatever. But we still need to find the sacrificial heart. So I'm running around looking for any Goliaths. One key thing to note is that you only want to be killing Goliaths in the second half of the zone. So you can see I'm really targeting these Goliaths and basically ignoring other monsters. The way the sacrificial heart spawn works is that a random monster in the second half of the zone has a sacrificial heart. And so if you respawn at checkpoint, it's going to reset all the monsters and you have to kill them all again. So you don't want to respawn at checkpoint, you just want to keep clearing until you find that one monster that has the heart. It's not like a random chance for it to drop. One of the mobs has the heart, so you want to just keep killing the Goliaths until you kill the one that has it. You can also get the heart in Exile. It's the same in Act 2. And for the relics in Act 2, I believe the bone pits, there are 2 relics. So in the bone pits, there's 2 relics, right? In the whole zone. So you're gonna find two. There's like, let's say there's like 10 packs of hyenas or whatever. 2 out of those 10 packs of hyenas will have the relic. And so what that means is if you explore the entire area and those 2 packs are right next to each other, you can clear like all other 8 packs, and then you'll kill the last 2 packs and you'll get 2 relics. And yeah, so if you freeze Doriani and then get him below half HP before he unfreezes, you'll get a laser skip, saving you like 15-20 seconds or something. And yeah, this guy's a joke. Like with 200,000 HP, we just 3-shot him. Instantly portaling out. We don't care about his loot. His loot takes like a minute to drop. On average, I would say not worth. Okay, we got the interesting bug here where we're like moving around and shit. Like, I don't know what's happening, but yeah, interesting bug. Okay, we're just going straight into Act 4. So what you're going to do in Act 4, you are going to sprint towards Doriani. As soon as you click on him, you're going to dodge roll away. I mistime the dodge roll and I do it before I click. On these next NPCs, you're going to click them and then you're going to spam click and then pick up the boat charter and then you're going to dodge roll and start running towards the boat. And, you know, while you're doing this, great time to manage your inventory. And you're going to talk to Makoru, and the first island you're going to do is Isle of Kin. So usually what I do for most builds is I do Kidge Bay first, but this build is really bad on the boss in Journey's End. So instead of doing Kidge Bay first, I do it at the end of the run. Because the boss will one-shot you and will take no damage because he has like 50% cold res or something. This league mechanic here is a Gem Cutter's Prism. So I'm putting a bit of effort into killing this guy so I can get some more quality on my Twister. Hey, I became a member and watched your ice shot guide on YouTube, but I'm curious how to do act with Huntress. It's a little rough not having a bow or lightning rod at the start. Plus Huntress's starting passives aren't as good with bow as rangers. Well, that part about the starting passives, yeah, it's not as good. Like it is going to be slightly weaker than the ranger. But if you want to start with a bow and you want to start with a lightning arrow, you can just play a ranger. Like play ranger through the riverbank, go to town, and then like put your bow and your gem in the stash, and then you can just use it on the Huntress. That's probably what I would do. And then you'll also have like maybe some extra items, maybe some gloves with damage or something like that. Anyway, back to the run. So we picked up a tier 4 support gem from the Beast Pen. And I think we put it on rapid attacks too, right? It's just 10%. Another 10% increased attack speed for our Whirling Slash. So in this zone, we have the best guaranteed campaign reward throughout the entire campaign, which is a topaz or ruby ring. You're going to find 2 golems. You're going to kill whichever golem you kill last. It drops the ring type that like the element of that golem. So there's a guy called like magma something. So if you kill him last, he'll drop a ruby ring. And if you kill the other one last, you will get a topaz ring. And these rings are just like giga juiced to drop like insanely good mods. I don't know how it works exactly, but like 80% of the time you're gonna get like an insanely giga juiced ring. So I can't remember what I get in this run, but it's like, yeah, 80% of the time you're gonna be getting like high flat damage, maybe like a double resistance and like a life or something. So yeah, sometimes these guys have Shroudwalker and just instantly teleport you and one-shot you. So watch out for that. So yeah, we killed the lightning golem last, which means we're going to be getting a topaz ring. And instantly identify that. And I think it had like 1 to 27 lightning damage with like lightning res or something. So I just instantly put that in. We die, but it doesn't really matter because we're right next to a checkpoint. So I think about exalting my ring, but I only have 4 exalts and I need to craft a new weapon soon, so I just don't use the exalts.
I go where the fight is thickest. No soul fight, just me.
Yeah, I try and get this guy into like kind of a corner. Because, you know, corners really good for this build. We're just going to instantly return to ship, and then we're going to make our way to, I think, Whakapanu Island.
Where to? All hands on deck.
Usually, what you would want to do is pick up the Humming Pearl and the Singing Caverns. But because I have a +1 Project Amulet, I'm just going to end up completely ignoring it.
There you go. This island looks cool.
This is probably... So, they're changing a bunch of layouts in the campaign in 0.5, but I don't think they're changing anything in Act 4 or the Interludes. So I'll talk a little bit about layouts in Act 4. For this layout, this is a incredibly difficult layout. My best advice for anyone who doesn't want to spend like hours memorizing all the different layouts is to just find a wall and hug it. But you know, I spent like many hours studying this layout. So I have like, you know, I basically just know how to run it for the most part. But if you know, you're not crazy and you don't want to spend 10 hours learning them, just hug a wall. And you need to be very strict about hugging a wall, because if you don't, if you like half hug it and you like leave a little gap, it's very easy for you to just like end up running in circles. So you really need to hug it, like really hug it. Okay, we're in the Singing Caverns. So the Singing Caverns is essentially a circle. And the boss is either in the center of the circle or on the outside. But the Humming Pearl is always on the outside. So if you find the boss, then you know you can just keep hugging the outside of the circle, and you'll be good. Yo, Chris Z, thank you for the T1. Also, what up, Baru? I'm going good. So yeah, here I'm just leveling up all my gems. Ice tipped arrows is like kind of important to level up because it's more damage for ice tipped arrows. Something I actually haven't mentioned yet is that not only does the ice tipped arrows convert all your damage to cold, but they also leave behind these like cold ice fragments that explode after like a second or something, dealing damage. Okay, so for this boss, you really don't want to get the ad phase, right? So what you do is you use Whirling Slash.
So you're what's been making all this bloody
You choose Whirling Slash on the boss. At the start, she's probably going to do like the geysers or whatever. So you want to like stand far away so that she spawns them away from her. And then you just go up to her and use Whirling Slash. You just keep using Whirling Slash until you get max rage and you get your War Banner. And then you pop Freezing Mark, you pop Ice Tipped Arrows, and you pop Barrage, and then you just one-shot her. Just like that. Very important you do it like that, otherwise it's decent chance you get an ad phase. Like if you miss the banner or you miss the rage, you're probably going to get an ad phase.
Good day. Where to? We've arrived.
The king's march. Okay, good luck then.
Looks like the sort of place no one walks out of.
So here I'm just upgrading Magnified Area to level 2.
Pretty word. Justice.
How did you figure this strat out? What strat? Which one? Damage you just did to the boss? I don't know. I just did it. Just figured it out. When you first started doing speedrunning, how many runs did it take to get your first sub 5 in 4 hours? So I did most of my practice with like any percent boss kill races in mind. So I never really did many like full campaign runs until 0.4. And because of that, that essentially meant like the first time I started doing timed campaign runs, my first runs took like 4 hours. All this practice just to lose to Infernal Legion's not even good. Infernal Legion's got nothing on this build, dude. Like, so for the chapel key, it only drops from necromancers. So you essentially want to pick up the chapel checkpoint, and then make your way to the end of the zone, and then checkpoint back, and get your life recovery from flasks buff. I think I ended up making a small mistake here and like entering the zone, and then remembering that I still have to do the chapel. Yeah, I enter the zone by mistake, and then I have to like come back and do the chapel. Life recovery from flasks on belt is basically mandatory.
Spent their last breath on prayer.
Not really. You kind of just want like life and res on your belt. It's the most important thing. Yeah, I take life recovery from flasks. Basically I always take that unless I'm playing like Mind Over Matter or something. Then I take mana. So for this next zone, you'll notice that there's like ocean waves coming into the area and slowing you down. While those ocean waves are here, the monsters also have like huge, like 80% damage reduction or something. And so I essentially just jump over the monsters because like killing mobs in here is completely AIDS. So I just skip all of them whenever the ocean is coming in. Yeah, you see me just jumping over, just jump. Like, it's just not worth killing the mobs here, it's just a waste of time. Because you're really slow and they have massive damage reduction, it's just absolutely horrible. Yeah, this is a really... How do you know they have damage reduction? You'll just notice that when the ocean is here, the mobs don't take any damage. That's how I know. Oh yeah, also, yeah, that's a good thing to mention. After you do Thunder Sleep, you should dodge roll. Rather than just like doing nothing and then waiting for Thunder Sleep. And you can jump through this ocean here. So you can like get through that really quickly and start the boss a couple seconds quicker. And this guy's cold resistant, so he's pretty tanky. But you know, if we do our combo correctly, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, you basically just want to pull the ballista whenever it says use a ballista. Pretty simple stuff. And we're going to return to ship, and we're going to set sail to Shrike Island. You have to do Shrike Island to unlock Eye of Hinekora. This changes every league, but basically you have to do every island. So like next league, maybe Shrike Island doesn't have the NPC, and another island does instead. But you have to do all the islands at some point, so...
We've arrived.
What happens if you're too high and don't pull the ballista? Well, if you don't pull the ballista, I think it just recovers to full health. Right? So, we get a shrine here. Unfortunately, it's a rarity shrine. Or maybe fortunately, I don't know. Can I get full commentary posted? This is going to be on YouTube. Hi, YouTube.
The Karui are brave.
So you can jump over this cliff with Thunder Sleep. Would recommend. Any reasons why you find this faster than Demon Mummy or Grenades, for example? This just does more damage than both of those. Like, it has more single target damage, and it just has better clear. What's the world record time right now? Right now, I believe it is this run that you're watching. Just 3:31. Just every passive with a single ascend. I think we end at like almost level 56. Which is like a little low. It's maybe like one level lower than you would probably want. But it's nothing terrible. Because I think 56 you can be... What's 6 levels, right? Yeah, so you probably want to be like... 56 would be 9 levels under. Yeah, you'd probably want to be like 57. Oh yeah, so I'll mention this. So for Whirling Slash, if you leave the area, then you... Like the area disappears. Like it blows up. So you need to make sure that you don't like exit the Whirling Slash before using Twister.
We're too. Martiki is already
Yeah, you can read the gem if you want to like understand it better.
Now there's a sight what'll take your breath away.
Can you jump any terrain with Wolf Leap as well as Thunderous Leap? So I think the distance that Thunderous Leap goes is different to the distance that Pounce goes. I'm not sure which one is further. But I would assume there's like probably 1 or 2 things that you can't jump on one that you can jump on the other. Varashta was 3:35, so this is 4 minutes faster than Varashta.
Their spirits linger, same as their strength.
But yeah, this is the strongest campaign leveling build in the game right now that I've seen. Just nothing can really beat it on the single target and the clear. I think if you try hard enough, you can make Vareshta faster. Maybe for like a campaign 100% run, if that's like your only goal. But in terms of like early mapping, there's no way Vareshta would ever beat this. Because this is just too good at clearing maps. But yeah, for like a 100% campaign run, maybe Vareshta is faster on average, potentially. Maybe. I'm not sure though. You don't think people hyping new Ascendancy too much, especially Owl? Seems crap, you need to roll to generate charges, but you essentially never roll because you just spam whirling. Yeah, that's one of the things you kind of just need to try out to know how it's going to feel, right? Having to roll all the time to like get your benefit from your Ascendancy is very awkward. But we'll have to actually play it to see. How many Ascendancies do you do in your 0 to maps runs? It depends on the class, but I usually do 1 Ascend. So one thing you may have noticed that I do in these like totem rooms is that I hug the door as I'm killing the last mob so that I can leave as fast as possible. So you'll see in this last room here, I should be hugging the wall or hugging the pink door on the left. What are we looking for on spears for this build? You're just looking for as much damage as you can possibly get on the prefixes. Gee, you're just looking for as much flat damage. Like, you need to look at the tiers of the flat damage and the percent IBD. You're just looking for, like, as much base damage on your spear as possible. Plus projectile is, like, I wouldn't worry about it. You just want to look at the prefixes and, like, how much base damage your weapon has.
Banished from my own mountain, but welcome here. Funny that.
So the layout for this zone is basically the same every single time. What you're going to do is you're going to go straight north, and you'll find the first room straight north of the entrance every single time. What is the best build for Warrior Act 1? I have no idea. So once you do this first totem room, I guess I should mention how to do the totem room. You essentially just want to use Barrage, and like plan ahead of when the rare is going to spawn. Because on the last wave, the rare mob will spawn, and you want to prep Barrage for that if you're doing it best. So after the first room, you're going to run straight to right. Like literally, you're just going to go right. Like press D on your keyboard if you're playing WASD, and you'll find the second totem. And you might have noticed that we didn't actually hand in the reward to the totem. And it's because I like to collect all of them and then hand them all in at once at the end. When will this be uploaded to YouTube? Right after the stream. Right after this stream. We make use of cold damage on rings and gloves or fizz also. So you don't even care about the type of damage that you have. All you want is as much flat damage as possible. You want fire, cold, lightning, fizz. It doesn't even matter what type it is. You just want as much of it as you possibly can get. So here at the end, we hand in our rewards, and I take resists. There is like almost kind of an argument to like take attributes, because this is pretty attribute heavy, but resists are never bad, so. And we're now like 1 hour away from the finish of the run. So in 1 hour we'll be finished. For the monkey, you kind of want to do like a similar thing that you did on the mermaid boss. So I think what you want to do is you want to use Whirling Slash to generate rage and glory for War Banner. And then once you have that, you want to use your combo. Hello, today I was playing through Act 2 and ran into a bug. When I cast 3 Whirling Slashes followed by Ice-Tipped Arrows, the freeze effect doesn't work and the arrows aren't consumed. Do you know anything about this? What you need to do is you need to set Ice-Tipped Arrows to be on the same weapon set as Twister. So you open up your gem tab and you have Twister probably on weapon set 1. You want to put Ice-Tipped Arrows on weapon set 1 only as well. You think if I can't be bothered to make alt, better go Deadeye or Amazon? Maybe Deadeye? I have no idea. Is it likely that you would pick New Ascendancy on this or Amazon? So if this was 0.5, I would be trying out Spirit Walker. If Spirit Walker felt absolutely terrible, I would probably pivot to Amazon once I got 3rd Ascent. As a newer player, what is the biggest thing to learn to save time during campaign? Yeah, don't stand still. Okay, so I'm doing Kedge Pay here. I'm only doing the first zone. So we're going to go to Journey's End. We're going to pick up the waypoint. And then we are going to make our way to Erastus. It's just because the boss in this zone, like the boss in Journey's End, is so difficult. You'll get one shot and you won't do any damage and it just sucks. So I do it at the end of the campaign. Here we picked up Essence of Thawing. Pretty big. Basically any essence you can get that's like usable on your gear, you're gonna want to take. So I think I used this Essence of Thawing on the body armor at some point. Yeah, I'm like looking at my body armor. What's my body armor? I'm like, okay, yeah, let's just send it. Yeah, we are lower level in the zone. I'm pretty sure this zone has a bunch of mobs with cold res, but none of it even matters. We just fucking one-shot everything anyways. It doesn't even matter. We find a researcher strongbox. Obviously gonna do this. I probably should have trans-orged it, but I was being lazy. So I just opened it white. So yeah, now we're waypointing back to town. I misclick and go to hideout. But you want to go to town? How often do you check vendors? Whenever there's like some gear that you need and you're in town, that's when you check vendor. If you don't need anything or you're not in town, then You don't check.
We've arrived.
And we're gonna go straight to Erastus. You actually can go to Nakanu,
They're smart.
and in Nakanu there's a vendor. So like, if you enter Nakanu at the start of Act 4, there's gonna be a vendor with like items in it. It will have like spears and stuff, I'm pretty sure. I don't do it, but if you want a good shot at a good weapon, you can like go to Nakano and check that vendor. Are you gonna go Huntress as your league starter? I need to see 0.5 patch notes, but it's looking pretty likely that I will be.
Where's that creature got to? And who's making that noise? How could you?
Let her go. It matters not. You will hand over what you have found. Come, Carly.
Can you do this on Ranger with similar results? Yeah, you can. It's not going to be as good as Huntress, but yeah, you definitely can. Another thing I want to mention about like being in melee range with a Whirling Slash on bosses, like not only does it generate rage, but you actually have a lot of nodes that are like increased projectile damage if you've dealt the melee hit recently. And so you have to be hitting the mob with Whirling Slash to get that extra damage. Pretty important.
I was touched by something strange.
So I think I forgot to mention this, but that chest back there gives 3 guaranteed Exalted Orbs. There's also a chest that gives 3 Regal Orbs, but I don't really care about Regal, so I skipped it. But if you do want the Regal Orb chest, once you find the Exalted Orb chest, you want to go inside of the area. So the Exalted Orb is like on the outside. If you just go in the opposite direction of the Exalted Orb chest, you'll find the Regal Orb chest like inside the city. Did you take the 3x to simulate what you'd do in campaign, or are you going to craft another weapon this run? Both. So I am going to be crafting another weapon this run, and I would take that in a league style as well. Like, yeah. I think even if this was a league start, I probably would still skip the Regals, just because Regals are like garbage. For my first aura, I take War Banner. And the reason for that is just because I want more single target damage. I like instantly killing bosses in like 2 seconds.
What are the Order playing at with all this?
Okay, so for this area, you want to be level 46 entering this zone. And I'm pretty sure I'm like 46 already, or 45 and a half or something. So we're about right on XP. There is also a shrine here, like a guaranteed shrine in this zone. It can be anything. It can be like acceleration shrine, damage shrine, EXP shrine. Definitely gonna pick that up if you find it. I wouldn't spend my time like looking for the shrine though. I don't think it's worth like backtracking and trying to find it. Yeah, the league mechanic here gives you a rare amulet. So if you don't have a good amulet, I definitely recommend picking that up. But I didn't pick it up because I have a +1 Proj amulet, and like chances of that new amulet being better extremely small. So this excavated cache here gives a bunch of items, but I don't really care about items. I'm just trying to blast. Yeah, we just hit 46 now, so I am a little bit under leveled. Probably like half a level lower than I would prefer. And the reason for that is because we haven't done Journey's End. So we're missing like half a level or so because we didn't do Journey's End. So here I respawn at checkpoint to skip the dialogue. You'll notice that as I go back into this arena, Benedictus basically instantly spawns. Whereas usually he would have like a good 20 or so seconds of dialogue.
The Savior is precious. He is all that matters. Your time is short.
Yeah, once you kill him, you basically just gotta wait.
Bury it all. For the Savior.
Yeah, a lot of bosses, you're gonna want to like try and manipulate them to go into the corner. And if you do that, you get more damage.
Treason is unforgivable.
Is this the world record run? Yeah, this is the fastest time that I know of. So here, you just gotta walk through. Once you get to the end, you have to wait for a bit, and there's gonna be like a big flashbang. And when the flashbang happens, there will be like a Speak to the Hooded One appear at the bottom of your screen. When you see Speak to the Hooded One at the bottom of your screen, you need to log out, log in, and then when you get back in, you're gonna place a portal and go back to town. So we'll see that in a second.
You've done well. This feels oddly familiar.
What class is this? This is a Huntress Amazon. So we're about to get a flashbang, and you're gonna see as soon as Speak to the Hooded One appears at the bottom of my screen, I log out and I log back in. And then we place a portal, go back to town. You don't have to talk to the Hooded One here. You don't have to talk to the Hooded One. The only reason I do it is so I can identify my items and clean my inventory. I'm just cleaning my inventory, looking for a weapon. We don't really find anything. I try and augment that. It's like okay, but not great. I alch it. It dies. I completely dead. So some people might be looking at that and thinking like +1 proj, 3 prefixes. It's got to be good, right? Well, it has like 1 to 5 lightning damage and like 2 to 4 fizz. So basically, it's completely garbage. The +1 proj essentially does nothing. Here we use a little bug to like instantly go through the little area at the start there.
Tavakai might be off his rocker.
So one extremely important thing you want to pick up in this zone is the Greater Jeweler's Orb. So you'll get a guaranteed Greater Jeweler's Orb from the League mechanic in this zone. At the moment, the League mechanic is the Vile Ruins, but in the next league, it's going to be... I don't know what it's called, but it's going to be whatever it is. And whatever it is in the next league, it's going to have the same reward as the Vile Ruins have in this league. So you're still going to be able to get your Greater Jeweler's Orb from Nakanu in 0.5. At least that's what everyone is expecting. We still have to like actually see the patch notes to know for sure, but that's kind of what everyone would expect. GGG has talked about the League mechanic rewards in interviews before. And they've said that like, yeah, they want to keep these like guaranteed rewards in the campaign every league. And in 0.3, there were basically the same rewards as in 0.4. So like, if you completed the Abyss in Nakanu in 0.3, you would get a Greater Jeweler's Orb. And now in 0.4, when you complete the Vile Ruins, you get a Greater Jeweler's Orb.
This ain't the work of a warrior. This is madness.
Is there some way to find a list of zones where the league mechanics drop meaningful guaranteed rewards? I have a guide specifically on that. You can check out my guides on Mobilytics. It's called the League Mechanic Reward Cheat Sheet. It has a bunch of different rewards, all color-coded, so you can like quickly see what rewards there are and which zones. So yeah, this is a level 53 zone. I think we are level 46 right now. Right? Just a little bit low, but that's okay. I really should be like 47 right now, but 46 isn't the end of the world. Yeah, we just turned 47 now. So yeah, one thing to mention in the zone is that whenever you find a checkpoint, it basically means there's a dead end beyond. So if you ever find a checkpoint, run the other way, unless you're at the very end. But you can see earlier I found a checkpoint and then I ran the other way.
Another interfering with things they don't understand. You don't belong here. This is a Kardui matter.
Quit yapping. Where's Makaru?
As we speak the ancestors. Ancestors heal her. Enough!
They got that right. Let's finish this.
The way is clear. I must be stronger. For the Kardui!
Need to get after him.
This outsider challenges our way. Aid me, ancestors. Let them know the might of the god. I am the true
Get down, mate.
Lend me your strength, Tokuhama!
Yeah, after this boss, we've only got interludes left.
All I have done, done in your honor.
Interludes generally take like around 40 minutes or slightly under.
Myself!
I think I messed up my combo there, and so he took a little bit longer to kill. But you know, even if you mess it up, it's still pretty fine.
What have I done?
I believe so, but we have to move quickly. You must relinquish the weapon.
What level do you try and stay around compared to the zone? So I have a guide on EXP on Mobalytics, but basically you want to be around the EXP penalty threshold, which is 3 plus 1 per 16 levels of character level.
I'll make it worth it. Ow. Smells mystical like.
How do you keep track of things you need from every zone? I've done the campaign like hundreds or like 1,000 times, so... So here I'm trying to craft my weapon for the interludes. The crossblade spear is kind of garbage. We regal this, we hit some useless garbage, and then we exalt. And we hit big on the exalt. So this run is... like now, like we're good. We have a weapon. We just need to get level 54 and equip our weapon, and our damage will be like completely insane. Was this run posted to the speedrun site? No, no one posts run to the speedrun site. The format on the speedrun.com is like not... I just do my runs how I would do it in a real league start. So I don't want to like change my run just so that I can fit the rulings of a site that nobody posts speedruns to. Because on speedrun.com for your speedruns, you have to do like second lab and stuff. That's not how I would play this on a league start, so... Yeah, this zone we're in right now is insane for EXP, and we need EXP. We are about to hit, what, 48? So now that we're 48, our EXP is looking pretty good. I'm going to do the Abyss here as well, because I'm really trying to hit 54. As soon as I hit 54, I'm going to equip that weapon. And my damage is going to be 50% more damage, or double, or some ridiculous amount. And this is also like a perfect layout for this build. Because it's like quite linear. But also like kind of wide enough that there's a bunch of mobs. Do you play the same builds and maps? Yeah, you can play this build and maps. No hero device? We have hero device. We have hero device. The guide is like 90% correct or something. What would you recommend to swap to after higher tier maps? I would keep playing this. See, the arena for this boss fight is pretty awkward. But, you know, even when we have a pretty bad arena, doesn't really matter.
That's the last time you dirty the spirit's name.
What did you go to yesterday? Like T89? Yeah, I think I got to like T89. And I just logged out. I'm pretty confident that you can do T15 maps, like get to T15 maps less than 5 hours on this build. I might be doing runs of that before the league comes out. What are the best support gems for ice-tipped arrows? You can see like all the support gems in the build guide. I'm pretty sure you can do level 1 to tier 15 in 5 hours on this build. Or less than 5 hours. Maybe even like 440 or something. What is the current best 0 to tier 15? The current best level 1 to tier 15 run is by Giluo, the Witch King. I think he did it in around 4 hours 50. He was playing, I think, Demon Form, ED Contagion, Bone Storm. So yeah, what we're doing here is we're basically running to the bottom of the zone. Because the boss is always on the bottom. And we're doing this guy, we're going to get 2 passive points. It's another, like, kind of awkward arena. It's not too bad, this arena. Yeah, we're going to portal back to town after picking up the tusks, and we're going to talk to Hilda. And then we just waypoint straight back to Glacial Tarn. We died, but it doesn't really matter. We kind of need like a little bit of XP here anyways. I think we're still 48, right? So because we're 48, that means the XP penalty threshold is 6 levels. Which means we can be in a zone level 55 without any penalty. Or, sorry, 54. Not 55. Is there any issues playing an Ice Shot campaign on Huntress? No, you can play Ice Shot on Huntress. It's perfectly fine. I mean, if I was playing a Huntress, I'd play this build, because it's just way better than Ice Shot, but if you just want to play Ice Shot, you can play it on Huntress. I don't even pick up the loot from that guy, he usually doesn't have anything good. So I'm just already running into the next zone.
I've not felt cold like this since I left the ranges.
Did you award points for death prediction yesterday? I cancelled it because I never actually ended up hitting level 90. So. So here I start running the wrong way, but I quickly realize, and then just quickly go back. And at this point, I'm starting to head up to the monk side, where we're going to get some attack damage and skill speed. If there was no EXP penalty, what would be the world record? I have no idea. It would probably be like 20 to 30 minutes faster. We would probably be seeing like sub 3 hour runs, I would guess. So yeah, there is a guy here who gives you a unique, but I never find good uniques from him, so I just skip him. I think I've seen him like over 100 times, and I've only seen a good unique like 1 time.
breath, so I'd freeze solid back there.
So yeah, this is like a very, very nice linear zone. So we literally just get our Whirling Slash and blast with our twisters. And we just run with our twisters and everything just dies. Pretty good. We find a researchers. I should have ID'd that and augmented it if it didn't have a prefix, but at this point I'm just trying to get shit done really quickly. Not trying to like think too much. Just killing monster fast basically. We hit level 51, so I'm like actually kind of over leveled at this point because this zone is just so good for XP. So I then replace, or think about replacing my unique helmet. Because the new one has 90 life, which is 10% more life for my character. And you can jump over that little thing there, but I mess it up, so I just give up. My support gems on Thunderous Leap right now is like hit and run, which gives 40% more speed, but you can only use it after traveling a certain number of meters. I think I made a mistake this run. I don't think that support gem's worth using. It just makes it a little bit awkward. So if I were to do this again, I think I would take that support gem off. I think all you really want is Rapid Attacks 2 or Rapid Attacks 3 on Thunderous Sleep. And this is another zone that's like perfect for this build. With all the tight corridors. So this boss does actually have a bug. I believe it's related to freeze, where if you freeze the boss and then you die, you actually can't do the boss again. You have to like go back and create an entirely new zone and run back to the boss. If you die on this boss with this build, it's really bad.
Enough fighting.
And that's Interlude 3 done. Next, we're going to do Interlude 2. The first thing you're going to do in Interlude 2 is you're going to run bottom right. And then you're going to run straight to the right. And when you go to the right, you're going to find some bosses. And after you kill those bosses, you'll get 2 passive points from the NPC in town. Yeah, I'm really trying to get level 54 here. Because as soon as I hit level 54, it's going to be a lot easier. So we find the bosses, we are going to use our combo. These can be pretty hard, but I got pretty lucky and they just kind of like didn't use any dangerous attacks. So I could just kill this guy before he did anything. And I try to go on the right here so that I can bounce the twisters off the wall. Because he was standing next to the wall, so I went on the opposite side. And then you're just going to go straight to Risu on the left. And grab your 2 points. And then you're going to go top right, and then from here, you're just going to run straight north. You're literally just going to press W on your keyboard. Will you share a leveling filter? So I'm going to have filters for whatever build I play for 0.5. And I'll probably have a filter for Ice Shot as well. And maybe like one other build, potentially. So yeah, we find the stairway at the top of the zone. And this is going to give us some life. So we're going to pick that up, we're going to kill this rare mob, and then we're going to respawn a checkpoint. And run left. We got some decent gloves. Nothing crazy. Unique doesn't even really vendor for much at this point. They only sell for like, I'm pretty sure 1,000 gold. So I just drop them on the ground. What you want to do is you want to go into the Galai gates. You're going to pick up the waypoint. Then as soon as you do that, you're going to go back and head towards the pools of Katal. So I just hugged this wall. You really, really want to hug it, because if you don't hug it, you will probably miss it. I didn't hug it here, because I'm dumb. And I almost missed it, as you can see. But luckily I went back. So this zone, level 59, I think I'm level 52 or 53 right now. Either way, my level's like looking pretty good. So in this zone, there are pedestals, and you can get guaranteed rings and amulets and jewels. But I already have a good amulet. My rings are already pretty decent, so I just completely ignore it. I think I also have like a jewel that's kind of useful, so I just completely ignore them. So yeah, I'm just running straight to the boss. I would have liked to have been level 54 here, but we didn't get it. You thinking about starting Twister for 0.5 or unsure yet? Yeah, I need to see patch notes to know. If nothing dramatically changes, then yeah, I'll be playing this. But if they say like ice-tipped arrows no longer works with spears, I think it's a log out. I'm just gonna waypoint to the Galai gates. By the way, the boss we just killed always guarantees a level 60 barrier. So the strategy for a League start is usually to do your first ascend, skip the second ascend, and then do your third ascend with that barrier he drops. That's usually the strategy. Let's just say no dramatic changes and this is still good. Would you run it on Amazon or on Spirit Walker? Well, because Spirit Walker is a new class and we don't really know anything about it, I would just log in Spirit Walker, try it out, see what I think, and then if it wasn't any good, I would just respec to an Amazon. How many buttons is this build? This build has 4 mandatory buttons with 2 optional buttons, which give a big buff. So it's like a 6 button build that can be played as 4 if you don't care about min-maxing. The buttons we have is Whirling Slash, Twister, Barrage, Warbanner, Ice-Tipped Arrows, and Freezing Mark. But Warbanner and Freezing Mark are kind of optional. They're just big damage boost on bosses. It's kind of hard to know how good Spirit Walker is going to be because it's just additional projectiles and like projectile speed, right? It's like hard to know how good that's actually going to be without trying it in the campaign. Can we start Monk with this? Yeah, you can play this on Monk.
Statues. Reckon these Marika need to learn some old strength, made new in me hands.
What do you think about Wolf Swap? I've never seen it, so I have no idea. Do you have any plans on playing some warrior leveling before 0.5 release? If I can be bothered, yeah. Yeah, if I play warrior, I'm probably not going to play shield wall. We'll see. I don't know what I'm going to play. Whirling Assault is a play. I do kind of want to stay close to like the stereotypical warrior archetype though. I'm pretty sure Twister is good like through the entire game. Like it's an insanely good League starter, it's an insanely good Giga in-game build. Okay, so we just hit level 54. We are crafting out our weapon with a Storm Rune. And basically we're good to go. I think we just like doubled our damage. I don't really need EXP at the moment, so I'm just jumping past all of these mobs. Our goal is to end the campaign at like around level 56. Okay, we'll take a little bit. So I'm just jumping through all of this. So apparently a lot of people have problems with this boss on Twisters. But with this build, you don't really have problems. You kind of just kill him in like 10 seconds. He doesn't even really get a chance to do anything.
I have seen what has come and what will be. And I will see it done.
How?
Yeah, so you need to make sure to pick up that checkpoint next to the Blackwood. We're gonna use that later. I'm not sure what happened here. I think I got like shotgun one shot or something. They're very strange. Usually doesn't do that much damage that quickly. And yeah, I'm basically just jumping past most mobs. And then we kill them as we run past. So this zone is one of the worst zones for this build. Simply because all of the mobs have cold res. So the mobs are like really tanky. But even though they have cold res, because this build is completely broken, we still just, you know, fucking one-shot everything. Doesn't even matter. But usually for like cold damage builds, this zone's pretty bad. Any advice for console players to get faster? My advice for console players is to go to Amazon.com, buy parts for a computer, and create a computer. Yeah, if you're playing on console, you're just cooked. Like, you can't try and play fast on console, it's not even really possible. You're basically doomed to be like slow, because it's just how it works. So this boss is a very difficult boss for Twisters. You want to be very careful for this one. So we just hit level 55. We want to be around 56 by the end of the run. So what I'm doing here is I'm talking to Una, and then we checkpoint back to the Scorched Farmlands, but we don't enter straight away. We have to wait until it says, like something's going to pop up on the bottom of the screen, and when that comes up, we go through. So yeah, it says return to the darkness. As soon as you see that, you go through, you checkpoint back to the Blackwood, and you can just go straight into the Blackwood.
Never walked the wildwood, but this place feels familiar to me.
Here I just respawn because like I'm knocked over, about to die. Just do a quick respawn. So this zone has the guys with the shields. So it's very rippy. If you hit the guys with the shields, they shoot projectiles at you. Each one of those projectiles is going to do like a half of your life or something. So I'm basically just jumping over all of these mobs because I'm going to pick my last level up in the last zone, Halton Estate. So I think we end this run at like 10% or 5% away from level 56. Which is pretty much fine. Oh yeah, there is a dude in that Halton zone that sells runes. But I just skipped him. But you can definitely do that on a league start if you want. I don't actually know like how useful that is. Like my inventory is already filled with like half an inventory full of runes. But yeah, it definitely doesn't hurt to pick up. I think it takes like 30 seconds or something. Yeah, this guy's like a giga tank, and we're like a giga not tank. We're like a giga squishy. So he has an attack that will basically guarantee one-shot you if it hits you. And I think that's the attack right there. You just get chain stunned and died. Like there's nothing you can do. You might be able to like leap over it or something, I'm not sure. Is there any way to know if I missed any passive points? Open up your tree, and if you have 24 weapon set points, then you have all of them. You can just like look in the top right. Yeah, this guy has a lot of cold res, but it's all good. I should probably mention like some tier 5 support gem stuff. So for tier 5 support gems, there's a few things you want. You want Charged Mark on Freezing Mark, which gives you guaranteed shock ground, so like every boss is going to be shocked. You also want Rage 3 and Rapid Attacks 3 on your Whirling Slash, as well as Retreat 3 on Twister. We've got about 5 minutes left to go in the run. 5 minutes left to go. Just picking up some final passive points. Is all that in the build guide for supports? Yeah. All the like support gem stuff, everything is in the build guide from Overlooks. What do you think is the easiest class for campaign? The easiest. I think warrior is pretty easy once you get shield wall. It's like once you get shield wall, warrior is pretty easy. What else is there? I think shield wall. I think the hardest is probably monk. Monk's really hard. Grenades are pretty easy. I think a lot of people have issues with like aiming their grenades and like timing their grenades. Oh yeah, Vareshta's pretty easy too, actually. Vareshta might be the easiest. So after you kill those bosses, you have to go and talk to Renly. I made a mistake here and I didn't finish this whole dialogue. And then you have to go back to Act 4. Now, I skipped Journey's End, so I'm doing that now. So I have to go and kill the boss at the end of Journey's End. Why is your spirit jumping from 110 to 10 repeatedly? Yeah, I'm weapon swapping for attack speed. And my weapon swap 1 has Omen Scepter, which gives me 100 spirit. So yeah, because this zone is so low level, it's a level 50 zone, and we are like almost 56. We don't get any EXP here. So I'm just jumping past everything. Would Whirling Assault Monk be worth swapping at 41? I don't know how you make the swap work, because Whirling Assault is just physical damage. There's like not... You don't have the right nodes. How much more attack speed does your weapon swap have over your main weapon? Probably like 50% more attack speed or something. Yeah, that attack right there might one-shot me, I'm not sure. Just don't get hit. And we try to do this delirium, and then that's the run. After this delirium, that's it. Oh yeah, guys, my YouTube is not monetized. So if you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to me on Twitch, because I'm not making any money from this video, because my YouTube's getting demonetized. So yeah. Yeah, that's the run. GG's.